back here again. Chelsea lose their second leg tie, 2-0 to Real Madrid, 4-0 loss on aggregate over both legs. Ollie from B2B Sports here on his assessment of the Chelsea game and the Chelsea situation right now. Let's start with the lineup. To be fair, the lineup got announced and it was a pretty interesting one from Frank Lampard. Not one that I probably would have picked myself, and not one that a lot of other Chelsea fans probably would have picked either. Back three with a 5 really across midfield, and then you had Gallagher as more of an advanced midfielder with Havertz up top on his own. A lot of Chelsea fans and a lot of football fans on Twitter were calling it the backwards arrow pointing towards our own net, which was pretty funny, to be fair. But yeah, it was a bit of a weird one to go with 4 midfielders in the middle of the park, considering we needed goals and considering Gallagher isn't really that much of an attacking threat. You can run around a bit, provide energy, but he's not really that much of an attacking threat. Yeah, so to see that lineup was a bit strange. I could understand partly where he was coming from if we conceded the ties over, but at the same time we needed goals. So yeah, I was a little bit surprised that we didn't at least have Raheem or Mudryk or someone with a bit of pace that could break forward with Havertz. But yeah, the game started, and to be honest with you, Chelsea played pretty well. Real Madrid, especially in the first half, a couple of half chances, couple of little breakthroughs, but it didn't really test Chelsea that much, which I was surprised with. Chelsea again created chances, should have scored really in the first half, and I think we were the better side in the first half. We had, if you look at it in comparison to the game at the weekend against Brighton, we had a lot more of the ball. We had some more clear-cut chances, and we played a lot better. The support at Stamford Bridge was amazing. The atmosphere was rocking, considering of how bad we've been of late, and how we're down in the tie, and pretty much no one really expects us to go through. So yeah, I thought the crowd had an impact on the players, and I thought that improved their performance. The big chance. Well, there was 2 big chances for Chelsea really in the first half. Firstly, that Kante one, it fell to him. He's not been the most clinical finisher in the midfield. He has popped up with the odd goal for Chelsea previously, but he's not known for his goals. Kante, obviously, he's known for his running, his stamina, and his work rate. But we have seen him, especially under Sarri, he was, moving further forward. He was getting involved in that attacking third, which is, he's helped his game recently, in recent years. So yeah, so the ball came across, Kante pops up and he hits it on sort of a half volley. I think he had more time than he realised, so that was scuffed just wide of Courtois' goal. That was a big chance, and then the biggest chance of the first half for Chelsea came right at the end of the first half. The ball got whipped across, it fell to Cucurella. In hindsight, could he have hit it first time? Probably, but he took a touch and hit it, and it was right at Courtois. Absolutely huge chance in the tie. And if Chelsea got a goal just before half time, that crowd would have been right behind Chelsea going into the second half. I'm not saying Chelsea would have got through. Real Madrid, obviously, are always going to be a threat going forward, but it would have made the tie pretty interesting going into the second half, and anything's possible. Second half, we started the second half pretty well. Same sort of theme. Controlled the ball well at times. Couldn't find a breakthrough. And then there was the second yellow card, shout incident for Militao. At first I was like, that's a definite yellow, you've got to send him off there. But on reflection, on the replay, didn't get enough contact for me. Yeah, I know Militao's a bit of a flair player, a bit of a hothead, but yeah, that wasn't a sending off in my eyes, to be honest with you. Chelsea struggled. We had to make some changes. We had to bring on more of an attacking threat, and we had to push for that goal, which, was it ever going to come, really? Let's be real. I think, had no goalkeeper. I think most Chelsea players will struggle to hit the target at the moment. That's how bad it is. We're trying to chase the game. The game was just becoming more and more open, and then you saw that ball get played through to Rodrygo. And Chalobah, inexperienced in big competitions, he just dived in. He wasn't going to get there, and even if he got the man, that's another potential red card, similar to the Chilwell incident, denying a goal scoring opportunity. So it was silly of him to dive in like that. He could have easily stood him up. He's a quick boy, Chalobah, so he should have just stayed on his feet, and who knows what could have happened. He could have could have stopped the counter, could have stopped that break and sort of marshalled the ball out of play, but he doesn't. He dives to the floor. Real Madrid, being Real Madrid, clinical, absolutely clinical, and that's the difference between the two sides. Chelsea are playing in third and potentially fourth gear in this game. Madrid always have another gear to go to, and they're not going to miss a chance like that, and that's the difference. They will bear at those chances, even though they hadn't been very present in that game. They're always going to take those chances, and that's the difference between the two sides. And then Chelsea needed an absolute miracle. Then we needed 3 goals, bringing on more, made some more substitutions. I think Mason Mount came on at this point for Havertz. I mean, not the most attacking substitution, but when Aubameyang's not in Champions League squad and you don't have another recognised striker, I guess what more could you do from Frank Lampard's point of view? Yeah, we were always chasing the game. There was a couple of flashes from Mudryk. I think he brought the ball down and had a nice turn of pace inside, split 2 Real Madrid defenders, and he goes and hacks it over the bar. Just typical. Just don't have that cutting instinct at the moment. And then, if you give Madrid another chance, they're going to take it. And Valverde's bit of movement, bit of play, beating one man and then just shifting it inside for the second Real Madrid goal was sick, to be fair. It was decent, I can't lie. In that moment, to have that thought pattern to do that, pretty impressive, and that's why Valverde is one of the best up there. Is one of the best midfielders in the world at this current time. And that was all she wrote. 2-0 away win for Madrid, 4-0 loss on aggregate. I can't say I'm that surprised, because we all know as Chelsea fans what was really coming there. But yeah, it was a shame to not score a goal. I was hoping for a goal. I was hoping to get the atmosphere really rocking at the Bridge. It was in the first half for sure, but a goal would have definitely aided that. Yeah, and it's just nailing the coffin of a terribly disappointing season. One of the worst Chelsea seasons that I can remember being a fan over the past 15, 20 years. Yeah, terribly disappointing. Where do we go from here? Lampard's got an interesting task to manage out the rest of the season. What does he do? Does he bring in sort of the youth a little bit more? I mean, Carney Chukwuemeka. I'm surprised he hasn't got any more minutes. Well, he's not got any minutes under Lampard, to be honest with you. So yeah, I want to see him play more. I like Carney. Maybe we see Hall back in the side, but hopefully we can at least gain a little bit of confidence. It's been a complete mess this season, so it'll be interesting to see what Lampard can do with the remaining fixtures. Obviously, we're involved in big games left in the league, not for us personally, but big title deciding games for Arsenal. We've got to play Arsenal, we've got to play City, we've got to play Newcastle. So these are massive games that could have massive implications on the season. So as I said in the podcast with Sam, we might not end up with any wins at this rate. So and also on the back of that Champions League game is also quite telling to see Thiago Silva in his post-match interviews. I think it might have been with BN Sports, basically saying that the dressing room's too big. They've had to extend the dressing room to fit the amount of players in the squad that we have in the dressing room, and basically insinuating how it's been not greatly managed or not greatly owned in recent months, and there's been a lot of change, and too much change can have a massive impact on the squad, which I feel like it has done. All the new players that have come in, all the 3 managers that we've had this year, 4 if you're including Bruno, it's a very sticky situation. It's not the best for morale or just knowing your starting 11 for that matter. And could this be Mason Mount's or Thiago Silva's last Champions League game for Chelsea? Obviously, we've not got it next year, and it's going to be a massive task to get Champions League football next year as well, the following year as well. But yeah, Chelsea Football Club is a mess right now. And to touch on the manager situation before I wrap up, is that it's rumoured today that Enrique has been ruled out of the next round of interview candidates. We've been hearing that Nagelsmann and Enrique are the favourites to get the job, and they've both had interviews and they both went well. So it is a little bit surprising to hear that Enrique is now fell out of favour. I think that the 2 main candidates at the minute are Nagelsmann and Pochettino, which is a bit of a surprise considering he was Tottenham's manager, but not surprised in terms of managerial ability. I'm surprised at how long he's been out of a job. I thought he would have got snapped up pretty quick by another top club. So I would welcome Poch. Again, I do stand by my original opinion in the last Chelsea video I recorded. I would love Enrique. I feel like he's a bit of a ball breaker, and I feel like he's he would demand and command his players to get the most out of them. You can question whether Nagelsmann could be that type of manager. You don't want an Andre Villas-Boas 2.0 kind of manager. And also, I'm not, now that Poch is more in the frame, I'm quite happy with that. I do rate Poch as a manager, but Enrique for me would have really been my go-to. So we'll see how it all plays out over the coming days and weeks. But whoever comes in, he's got a hell of a job taking over Chelsea Football Club. I think they need to get rid of 10 players sort of before the transfer window is to abide by financial fair play rules. So yeah, I don't envy whoever comes in, and Todd Bowley and co seem very hands-on, so yeah, they've got a tough job ahead of them. But yeah, I think that about wraps it up for Chelsea. Disappointing. Say goodbye to Europe for a little while. Yeah, where do we go from here? I have no idea. Chelsea Football Club, is a circus last video. Chelsea Football Club is a mess this time around. Peace in a bit.